I wanted to talk to you a little bit about Hatti, really, and your relationship with your guide dog and how important it is for you, and that you're trying to raise a bit of awareness and a bit of a campaign regarding guide dogs, aren't you?
Yeah, so Hattie's actually with me right now because
get her on the show.
And when she realises I'm talking about her, she'll probably stand up and make an appearance. But she, because it's coming up to bonfire night, she gets a bit frightened of the fireworks and things. So, she gets a little bit more clingy this time of year. But no, she's such a phenomenal dog, to be honest. She's made such a huge impact on my life. And when I first decided to get a guide dog, I thought it'd just be the physical benefits of having one from getting me, from A to B. But it's so much more than that. It's the confidence that she gives me, and the fact that when people interact with me, it's such a positive experience, mostly straight from the get-go.
Well, absolutely, 100%. Just slightly off topic, but I mean, you raise the importance and the meaning really of your guide dog. And I think it's worth me just saying quickly, I know it is a little bit off topic, but I think when people steal dogs, right, they're not just stealing an item or a possession, they're stealing a member of the family, right? And I think they should be charged as such. But anyway, we'll get back to the real issue here now. Obviously, you're blind, you're partially sighted, and you were in denial about this, I understand, for a while. Just talk me through that. Talk me through what went on there.
Yeah, so I was like, especially as a teenager. So I got diagnosed with my eye condition when I was 9. And I got told it was degenerative, so it'd get worse as I get older. And obviously I don't really know what that means when you're that age. And it took me a while to sort of come to terms with the fact that I might need additional help. I mean, I used a cane occasionally, which I absolutely hated because it kind of made me feel like vulnerable. And every sort of interaction I had with a person would be quite negative. I felt like I was still explaining my life. So I'd be like, excuse me, I'm registered blind, can you help me? And I just felt like I was explaining myself all the time. So, I was in a bit of denial because I thought having Hatti would make me feel more disabled. But actually, it was completely the opposite. It gave me so much more confidence, and just that whole awkwardness about having to explain the situation just completely disappeared because people aren't interested then in my sight and whether they think I can see very well or not. They're interested in Hatti and what her name is and how long I've had her and have I had her from a puppy and all those other questions. Then going, so it completely removes it from me being the focus of their attention.
Absolutely. Well, I'm often accused of lowering the tone here on GBNews, as you can imagine, but I just thought it was something there that I read before that I thought I've got to ask you about. So Hatti was sick in the Royal Box at Wimbledon, is that right?
He was, yes.
What?
So it was a little bit embarrassing. Basically, she'd had a little bit too much strawberries and cream. I'd actually put her... So she was with me mostly in the box watching the tennis, and a very kind member of staff asked me if I would, if I could, they could take her for a walk to go to the toilet. So I was like, yeah, that's fine. And then I found out she ate quite a lot. She'd found food on the floor, which is typical. She's literally a walking dustbin, so I wasn't surprised. And she was sick all over the box during the game, during the match. It was embarrassing.
Oh gosh, do you think Hatti's got any idea about all the famous people that she's that she's met? I mean, obviously you feel very lucky to have her, but I think she's very lucky to have you, isn't she?
I mean, she's just like happy to go over, whether she gets food or a bit of a stroke. She's happy. So I don't think she realizes some of the really cool places that we've been to and where the things that have happened. But so that's the dog's life, isn't it? They're very interested. I don't think it matters whether they're a guide dog or just a normal pet. I think some of the stories they could tell people if they could speak would be quite interesting.
Oh yes, well, absolutely, yes. And I was just wondering, do you think you'd have had? I mean, you've just iconic levels of success throughout your career, and including Dancing on Ice as well. I think it's worth saying. Would you have achieved as much as you've achieved? Do you think without Hatti? Do you think that there's a chance that your life might have gone differently, for example?
I think she gave me... So I was always doing my sport and I was always really focused, but I think she just gave me that extra confidence to not really care what people think of me. And I think that's really helped through my career, just giving me that confidence to just be me and, not care what people think and, forget about the judgment of others.
Yes, well, I'm always quite keen as well to try to get the personal elements of guests when we have them on the big question. I always like to see what the story behind the story is as well. So we've spoken a little bit about Hatti, but I would just quite like to ask you a little bit about your family, really, your son and your partner as well. So what's the story there?
So I've got Hatti, my guide dog. So my partner Dan is also registered blind. He's got his guide dog Elmo. So that's an additional guide dog in the family. And then I've got a little boy Edward who's 2.5. So he's at the moment in that age where he likes just jumping on the dogs and trying to play with them. He's taken a liking to Hatti's tail at the moment. We're trying to teach him not to touch it. But yeah, no, it's all fun and games. And my son's sight is absolutely fine at the moment, as far as we're aware. So yeah, we're trying to explain the fact that we can't see very well to him, which is interesting. He's tried to come at my partner with a screwdriver to fix his eyes. So what happens when you try to explain to a 2.5-year-old that someone's eyes are broken? Thinks,
well, in a way it's cute, but I tell you what, it sounds like it could be quite a dangerous situation. Talk to me about dancing on ice, because I mean this may come as a shock to you, ladies and gentlemen, because I have not always been the galumphing oaf that you see before you today. I did ballet until I was 8. That's right, and I did figure skating as well for a while. Although I must say I was never particularly good at it. Really, what happened was I always wanted to play ice hockey. There wasn't an ice hockey team, so I just went skating. But anyway, there we go. Talk to me about that. I mean, were you very nervous about the dancing on ice thing? Or did you do better than you expected you would?
Yeah. No, I was really nervous about it initially, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I had a great partner, Mark Canretti, who just was absolutely amazing, to be honest. I wouldn't have been able to get that far without him.
Yeah.
He literally kept me going.
Did you find it easier than you thought you were? I mean, it came to you very naturally, I think.
You guys just saw the 3 months post training. I was training 6 hours a day. I was very intense. So Hatti and I were at the ice rink freezing to death most days at 6 o'clock in the morning. But no, it was fun. It was a really good fun. And Mark spent a lot of time trying to coach me and making sure that I got in the right positions and we learnt the routines, and without him I wouldn't have necessarily had the same confidence, to be honest. He was definitely the key to us getting to the final.
Well, yes, absolutely. I mean, you should be tremendously proud of everything that you achieved there, as I'm sure you already are about your Olympic achievements as well. So, just remind me, how many medals is it you've got now? Can you not count them all?
Paralympic medals, I've got 5 Paralympic medals. So 3 silvers and 2 golds. My most recent success was in the Universal Relay in Tokyo. I keep forgetting it's 2020. They keep calling it rather than 2021, even though it's a year later. And then I can't keep up with all the other medals. It's just that you sort of forget after a little while. I'm more focused on my times that I've run rather than the medals that I've won.
Have you got a standout moment from your Paralympic career? Is there a particular thing that you was like, that was the best day of my career?
Do you know what? I think I would have to say Tokyo this year was the best, the highlight of my career, really. Because I got to win a medal with a team of people. And it was the first universal relay that had ever been done at a Paralympics. And it was 2 of the athletes' first ever Paralympic medal. So it was lovely to be a part of that. And it kind of just felt like a bit of a full circle for me. Sort of going back to, being a part of a team and, really enjoying an event.
What would you say then to someone who's maybe been diagnosed with a similar condition such as yourself, or indeed has got any kind of disability really, who's maybe just got the news, especially if they're young as well, and it can seem very daunting, You've obviously gone on, and it's not in any way, shape or form impeded your life. In fact, you smashed it out of the park, really, haven't you? Let's be honest. So, what would you say? What would you say to some young people?
I'd just say, it's not the end of the world, to be honest. There's so many opportunities and ways around things nowadays. It's a lot easier than what it was, say, even 20 years ago. And yeah, you can have a really normal life. I think I've got for the best part, pretty normal life. Sometimes it takes me a bit longer to do things or do it a bit differently, but you know, it is what it is, and you just you just get around it and challenge yourself differently every day.
At the moment, then, we'll just to return a little bit to Hatti, really, and obviously it's in light of the fact that your book, My Life with Hatti, 6 years with a dog who does everything. I wonder, how easy is it to get a guide dog? Are there enough of them? Does everyone who needs one have one?
So because of lockdown, actually, the breeding programme got sort of postponed for a little while just because of COVID. So there is a bit of a shortage of dogs at the moment, because some of the dogs that were ready to go out couldn't be partnered, and then they stopped the breeding programme because obviously lockdown. So there's a bit of a shortage at the moment. But you know, it's really straightforward. I got in touch with my local guide dog centre, which was Leamington Spa for me. They've also got a breeding centre there. And basically, they sent a mobility officer out to see me just to check I could navigate properly myself. And if you can't, you know, so I can use a cane, because obviously if your dog's poorly, you do need to use a cane to go out. So they do those sort of skill set with you as well, and then they, you know, test your eyes, you give medical information over, and then once you are about to get onto the list, somebody from Guide Dogs comes out and they ask you questions about your preferences. So, you know, whether you would prefer your dog to spend on concrete or on grass, and whether you need a dog that goes on escalators, or whether they like children or loud noises, how quick they walk. So there's a lot of specification on, you know, what kind of dog is best to be partnered with you, and obviously your personality as well.
Yes, absolutely. Well, look, I'm going to put to you now, if that's all right, some viewer questions. So the wonderfully named Nolberto on Twitter has asked, would the Paralympics be better served merging with the Olympics as one big 4-week extravaganza rather than having its own fortnight? What do you think about that?
Do you know, I think sometimes it's great to have para events mixed into, you know, able-bodied comps, but I feel like it'd be too much for the Olympics and Paralympics to merge. I think it's such a huge event. I think everybody would get a bit sick of it. So I think it's good to have a bit of a break in between. And I think we'd end up losing events. Being on the Paralympic side, I think we'd end up losing some. So I'd prefer to keep it separate. Okay. But it has been mentioned more than once.
Yes, absolutely. Well, look, Finley has also been in touch on GB Views. How much of an impact do you think having people with physical disabilities / impairments on TV shows like Strictly Come Dancing and Dancing on Ice has? And did you feel you were a role model for people who are registered blind when you competed on Dancing on Ice?
So I'll answer the second part of that question first. I personally just live my life every day as it comes. So if I inspire somebody to, you know, get involved in a sport, or, you know, even to just like go to the local shop or the leisure centre or whatever, that's amazing, and I'm really happy that they can see that they can have such a normal life. But I am just living my normal life. I am a normal person like everyone else. And in terms of like having disabled people like more in the media, I think it's a really positive thing. You know, there's millions of disabled people in the UK, and I find it actually really odd that there's not that many disabled people on TV. So I'm a massive advocate for having more disabled people, you know, presenting shows, etc., and that kind of thing, because I do think it's really important to normalise disability.
Yeah, I think you make a series of very, very good points. Now, your book, My Life with Hatti, 6 years with a dog who does everything. You can see it there on your screens. It's no doubt going to be absolutely fascinating. It'll be flying off the shelves. But I was just hoping if there's any chance whatsoever that we can have a little look at Hatti, if she's right there with you, or should we not disturb her?
Hatti? No, you can see Hatti, upstand.
Let's have a look. Hey, there she is.
She's like, what are you doing to me?
Two heroes in one shot there. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Libby. It's been phenomenal to have you on the show. And good luck to you, Libby Clegg. For the big question, of course, Scottish Paralympian and indeed national treasure. And that book again is My Life with Hatti, 6 years with a dog who does everything.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.